Hi, I'm Philip Derham from Derham Insights Research, and I'm talking today about the benefits of using secondary sources data. Secondary sources data is information that has been collected by other people for a variety of uses, but not specifically for your particular need. However, secondary sources data can provide particularly useful insights to you to help you identify strengths, opportunities, or weaknesses within your business model. Secondary data can include the Bureau of Statistics regular census information, other Bureau of Statistics collections, industry association material or other industry material, and can include your own customer databases as secondary sources material because you're analyzing what's being collected, but not for a particular person. As an example of the benefits of analyzing secondary sources data, I'd like to mention a project we worked on recently. We first looked at the client's database and we analyzed that and discovered the client's customers, their repeat customers, tended to be older men and they tend to buy less frequently. They were good customers nonetheless, and so not to be despised. However, we then looked at the secondary sources data available for the client's area, and we found that the most recent census population information showed that within that catchment area, the average person was either a male or a female, not just men, but also that they were markedly a decade or two younger than the customers of the. So the secondary data analysis allowed us to identify that the client needed to aim for younger customers as well as the customers they already had. We went a step further though, and we looked briefly at the surnames of the older male customers. And we found that mostly they were Anglo names. We looked at the ethnic composition of the people living in the client's area, and we found that markedly it was a diverse area. There were plenty of older Anglo males, but there were plenty of other people from other ethnic origins, and that the client's advertising largely had concentrated on the Anglo market by showing images of Anglo people buying, doing, using. The client then gently increased the diversity of their advertising, showing both women and people from diverse ethnic backgrounds, and increased their penetration and sales with new customers quite effectively. So on this basis, we would recommend when you have a query, the first step may well be to look at the secondary sources data that is available for you, both your own customer databases and also the other databases of information that are available, and see what insights you can gain from that. And then look at perhaps doing original research where you ask specific questions that you need answered. If you'd like more assistance on effective and quick analysis of secondary sources data, please call or email me, and my contact details follow, and I look forward to talking to you shortly about how we can use secondary sources data, fascinating secondary sources data, to strengthen and improve your business.